Hey guys, Dirty Work 75 bringing you your F1 report for China. Yeah, China was the last race and what a race it was. But before we get into that, here's a few facts probably you didn't know about the F1 game and the China track. Well, the F1 game, the licensed version, came to Codemasters in 2008 and that was their first licensed F1 game. Many sort of variants of F1 games before that throughout the years, but the first F1 game actually came to the PS1 in 2001, and that's the first console racing game, I suppose, that was recognised. So there we go, a little bit of information. Tell your friends. Hey, next one. Now China, right? Completed in 2004. 26th of September was China's debut on the F1 circuit. 5.45 kilometers long, with some ridiculous straights, very technical turns, weaving sections. Turn one, hard right, immediate hard left. Very tricky, very tricky. Definitely for me. So there we go. China, yeah. It's had sponsors such as Rolex, Pirelli, and Heineken. So there you go. There's little facts and facts stuff, just to keep you going until we get on to the juicy stuff. Now, juicy stuff, that's what everybody wants to know. Nobody wants to know the facts, but I'm going to do it to you every single week. So, how was China? Well, China was very interesting. The weather. Now, when we all started, I think everybody commented on the weather, being that it was very overcast and nobody was really sure whether it was actually going to rain or not. Being that the setting is on dynamic, we don't know what the weather's going to be. It could be tearing it down in qualification and nice and sunny during the race. So the weather was hanging in there. Now this obviously cooled the track, which then played a part in my next point, which is tyre management and exceeding the track limits. Come the end of the race, checked on the race director, and practically everybody, maybe a bar two, exceeded the track limits, came off track. Now that is down to the tyres, easily no grip, lack of traction, and maybe pushing it too hard. And we have a cooler track, cooler tyres, you don't have that stickiness that actually keeps you on the line. So that was one thing it definitely took part within the China race. Now, apart from the obviously tyre management, what have you, we need to do a shout out. Well, we've actually got two shout outs. First shout out goes to NUFC Didas. Now, the reason we're going to do a shout out to this guy is his persistence. He generally runs at the back of the pack. He never makes a nuisance of himself, never gets in the way, plods on until the race is over. Now, we don't really hear much of him because he's a very quiet guy. Now, if that's him concentrating, then fair enough, you've got to do what you're going to do, fella. But we're tipping our hats to you because of the way in which you race. You're very respectful. People are passing you, stay out of the way. And if you come back on track after a spin, you're always very aware of what's coming, and you don't bring yourself out when the cars are coming down hard on you. So, well done, mate. Kudos to you, and very well raced and good effort. Second one goes out to the Beast. Yes, Elite Beast. The reason for this is it's down to his patience. Now, what do you mean by that? He was extremely patient in China. Several opportunities to pass and chose not to, whether because it was too dangerous, it was too risky, we don't really know. But he was very patient, and he waited until the perfect time when he had the window that didn't cause any danger to himself or anyone around him, and made the pass. So hat off to you, mate. Kudos to you as well. That's the two shout outs for China. So well done, guys, well done. Moving on. So we're going to talk about qualifier. Now, the qualifier threw up only one name from last week's quali, and that was Loki, who qualified in third. Done really well last week. He's qualified in third this week. So yeah. Second was last week's winner, Binary, qualified second, and done really well. And a new name in the table for the qualifier is Zygon. Zygon pulled the pole position, and ready for the race. So that was the qualifier. Moving on, the race. Now, race results are very nice, yeah. So, race results. Looney Tunes, who had no power issues, none. His Xbox stayed on. It was guarded at all times by sentry turrets. The power was not switched off. The children were locked under the stairs, out of the way. He pulled third. Now, he started 8th on the grid. So 8th to 3rd, a good comeback from last week. Got himself in the podium and got himself some points. So yeah, well done to Loki. Pulled in the second. Yeah, it went from 3rd in quali, 2nd. Loki has pulled a 2nd. Okay, which obviously leaves one spot open, being the pole. Well, who got the pole? It wasn't Zygon. No. It wasn't anybody that got on the podium for the quali. It was Parch Monk with a 1 minute 38.940. Blistering pace. And he took it quite comfortably, to be honest with you. Although in the sort of the last third of the race, there was some seriously close racing between the top 4, to the point it was almost a formation lap. Very close to each other, side by side in some of the tightest turns. And in some cases, there was a couple of contacts throughout the race. Some minor, some not so minor, that obviously maybe will be getting reviewed. However, the racing is that hard, it's that close, and it's that fast that it's you know, it's going to happen. It's how we bounce back from it and how we take on board what's actually happened and learn from it for the next race. Now, saying that, moving on to the next race, I think is going to throw up a few, I don't know, a few squirrels. I don't know why I said squirrels, but squirrels, alright? The reason I say this is, for the next race, you're going to have to wrap up nice and warm, big jacket, hat, well, you know, if the bits come down here, some gloves and some wheelie boots. Because once you've downed your vodka, you're going to need to stay warm for this one. Yes, we're going to Russia. Now, Russia's a fantastic track. I like Russia. I didn't at the start, but I do now. Russia has this... Russia's got this thing about it, right? It's not Monaco, it's an enclosed circuit, right? So what I mean by that is lots of walls and, you know, very close proximity to the track. Now, that's the only similarity it has to Monaco, right? It's closed. So if it's going to go wrong, it's going to go wrong big. You know, you've very little room to run off and save yourself. But Russia is fast. It's a fast track. You've got long sweeping bends, in hard rights, hard lefts. And if you don't make the bend, and you don't think you're going to stop, I don't think you have to worry. Because the wall's there to stop you. And it will stop you. And it'll probably stop your race at the same time. It is a really good track. It is. There's some really nice bends, sweeping bends, where there's room for 2-3 cars to go around there, and then you've got to make a decision whether you can outbrake or brake in time to make the corner, to make that pass. And you've got to do it safely. You've got to do it respectfully for obviously everybody else on the track. So that's Russia. So stay tuned. Obviously next week I'll bring you the results from Russia, which I think are going to be very interesting. I think they really are. It's going to be an exciting race, no doubt. So that concludes the Formula 1 report from me. However, don't go anywhere. Just hang on. We're not quite finished. Okay, I know this is the F1 report. However, Forza 6 Can-Am Season 1 is now finished. So stay tuned. I'll be back in just a second and I'll give you the results of the Can-Am Season 1 on Forza 6 with all the glorious details. So stay tuned, back in 2. Hey guys, we're back. Yeah, I know it's been 2 minutes. Did you make a brew? Did you pause it? Or have you carried on? If you carried on, okay, there'll be enough time for you to make a brew at the end. Okay, so Forza 6 Can-Am Season 1 results. Now, I've been given some notes because I don't take part in the season. I'm delivering the good news to you. So I've got some notes here, so I'll be flicking between you and the laptop just to give you the details, as there's quite a few. Alright, so from the top, okay, this is how it goes. So Lumberbrock won the final race of the season to take the championship by the finest of margins. Now, he deserves to win. Quite quite truly. Winning 9 out of 12. That's wow, very impressive. You know, 9 out of 12 races. That's damn good. So you know, hat off to him for the winning the season. Now, greasy wheel. It looks like you don't have got a lot of good luck on this one, my friend. Were the gods against him? Ooh. Let's see. Going into the last race, at one point ahead in first, despite not winning a single race in the season. But fate struck hard yet again. Catalog of disasters throughout the season kept Greasy from pulling clear on the leaderboard, and stopped him from chasing Lumberbrock to the end. Well, obviously these things happen. You get good races, bad races. You get the seasons where things go well, the seasons where it don't. You know, hey, it's a yo-yo in it, good and bad. You know, it's just the way it happens. Now, during the season, we've had some remarkable bad luck from drivers, including. Now, this is a list. This really is a list. So we've had someone missed the race due to misunderstanding the start time. Now that's 101. That is 101. Always remember your start time, okay? Someone mistook laps for the pit window. Now I don't know how that happens. I don't. But I can imagine in the party, whoever it was probably got a bit of stick, and rightly so. You know, if you got told you got a pit, you got a pit. Now the pit lane's kind of designed a certain way, so you can't really get it mixed up with the track itself. But obviously somebody did. Steering wheel failed to respond after bumpy rumble strips. How big were the rumble strips? How big were they? Wow, if it's really going to switch your wheel off, that's serious, yeah. Extra pit stops for whoever's wheel got turned off there, and some sad and some serious news. Rainey's dog apparently ran onto the track. Now, I'd like to say at this point, you know, no animals were harmed in the making of this video. Rainey's dog has made a full recovery, apart from being, you know, having their scared out of him. And he'll be back for season 2. He will be back for season 2, just to scare some more drivers. So there we go. Melon Mal held on to the lead on Monza. Had Mal held on to the lead in Monza. He'd be one of the top 2 drivers. Would have tied. But obviously Mal couldn't hold on to it. Maybe the pressure got to him. Lumberbrock with a classy overtake on the chicane. The final lap gave him the victory. So, you know, overtakes and chicanes, they're risky business, but you got to know what you're doing. You got to make sure that window's, you know, nice and tight enough for you to get through, but not too tight where you take your drivers out. So well done there, mate. Well done there on the pass. Melon drove well and challenged the 2 front runners on a number of occasions, finishing the season in 3rd. So obviously Mal's taking the last podium spot for season 1, obviously, which gives everybody else loads to do. You got to chase that podium, or even just get through the season. Get through the season in one piece. It's an achievement, is it not? Moving on, Lucky Eddie. Okay, nipped 4th place by 1 point, so he almost got Mal there. Almost got Mal. Had he been a little bit luckier, he would have got 3rd. Hey, you know, that's the way it happens. Remy in 5th. Nice one, Remy. What else? Remy has showed it. He can be competitive in the Can-Ams. Now, Remy is a very competitive guy. I think sometimes underestimated. But no, you never underestimate Big Rames. He can push you to your limits. He can push you to mistakes quite easily if he wants to. You know, he's a jolly old fellow, but you know, when it's racing, he takes it seriously. Apparently, he can be a pain in the arse on a number of occasions. No comment. I won't comment on that. That Remy can be a pain in the arse. I'm not going to comment whatsoever. But there we go. Fair play to I Can't Drive, known as Poppy. Okay, alright Poppy, hope you're watching this. Who found the cars hard work but turned up each week and tried it. Now that's what it's about, right? You know, if you're new to a game, that's the best way to do it. Every single week, tip up, and it doesn't matter whether you get the bottom points, which proved in with the last clan season I had, where Marble Echo, she tipped up every single week, and in doing so, won the Clan Cup, because other drivers who were, you know, better drivers than her, but weren't tipping up. So it just goes to show, if you're consistent and true to yourself and just keep digging in, you get results. It's the way it goes. All right, a successful first season for the Can-Ams. Obviously the first one for the GLC, and it's gone really well. It really has gone really well from what I can understand from the report and from what Miles told me. It's gone really, really well, and I'm hearing things about the Can-Am season that people are really, really enjoying it. So that's what, that's really important, really important. Last fact I've got here is, 18 different drivers over the 6-week season. That's a good turnout. That is a good and consistent turnout, and it's what we need. There's nothing worse than being on a track and it having been an empty track. If it's an empty track, it can be very, very boring and a very lonely race. But there we go. So, lastly, congratulations to Lumberbrook for being the champion of Season 1. Now, will he be the champion in Season 2? We don't know. Right, it's for the rest of you to make sure that doesn't happen. Okay, you can't let him win 2 seasons in a row, so get practicing. Okay, get yourself in there and push, push, push. And good luck to everybody. So, that's your Can-Am report. Alright, I'm Dirty Walk 75, and for everyone on F1, I shall see you next week for the results of the Russian Grand Prix. So, Dirty Walk, signing out. Take it easy.